Does it say it's recording?
Yes.
Okay, cool. All right. Well, hey everyone. So today we had some technical difficulties, so we're not going live, but that's okay because we're just gonna record it so you guys can see it. But good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Cincinnati Herald's Influencers, a weekly talk show to share young voices. My name is Nailah Edwards. I am one of the influencers, and I'll be your morning host today. If you have been keeping up with the influencers, you might have caught me last week hosting the 6 p.m. show with my guest Maya Howard, or the 11 a.m. show with my co-host Morgan Owens, another fellow influencer. If you did not catch my show the last time, my show consists of introducing you to the amazing, talented, and hardworking youth of Cincinnati, as well as speaking on influential topics that are important for our younger generation. So today, I will be introducing you to my very good friend, my best friend actually. He is an amazing young Black actor here in Cincinnati, Ohio. Not only is he an actor, but he's a well-rounded artist. He's into a little bit of everything when it comes to the arts. You know, he can act, he can dance, he can sing, draw, play the piano, you name it. And he is also a member of Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated through the Road to It chapter at Northern Kentucky University. And his name is Geoffrey Hill. So today, Jeff will be sharing with you what it takes to be an actor, how actors have been pivoting through the pandemic, and some of the things that he has been involved in as an actor, and so much more. But first, before we get into hearing from Jeff, I'd like to remind you to check out the Cincinnati Herald this week. You can pick up a copy of the newspaper at your local Kroger, Walgreens, UDF, Joseph F. Bookseller, or any other newspaper stand around the city. You can also go to thecincinnatiherald.com and subscribe to get mail delivery. Also, don't forget to register for the Cincinnati Herald's Building Black Wealth Home Ownership webinar happening on Saturday, September 19th at noon, which is next Saturday. It will be an online event and it is free. You'll be getting all the information and tools you need to know to buy a home. You all will be talking about your credit and financing options. So be sure to register at owningscincinnatidayton.eventbrite.com. Again, that is owningscincinnatidayton.eventbrite.com. So, without further ado, I would like to welcome Geoffrey Hill. It's an honor to have you on my show today, and it's a privilege to know you, Jeff. And I'm very excited to chat all about acting today. So, welcome.
Yeah, honestly, it's a pleasure being on your show. So thank you for allowing me the opportunity to be on here. So
No
thank
problem. No problem at all. So, we were talking the other day on the phone, and, we were just catching up, and you were just telling me everything about, like, your acting life, because you're doing so much, and, I can't keep all that in my head and retain all that. It's so much. But, we go way back, all the way to, like, Cincinnati Black Theater Company. I was a little girl.
thank
You're a little
you.
bit older,
Thank you.
but
That's
that's
okay.
where we all started our, like,
Yes.
acting foundation. So,
Yeah.
for as long as I've known you, acting has been like your passion. So,
Mm-hmm.
how old were you when you started acting, and what made you want to start acting? Because
Go ahead.
like you had different things you wanted to do. Like as your best friend, you've told me like different things you wanted to do. But
Exactly.
you
I was gonna get
ultimately
into that.
ended up acting. So where
Yeah.
did that come about?
I'm gonna get into that for you. So basically, I grew up being a sports person, all sports, taekwondo, wrestling, baseball, all that other stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I did not start acting. Yeah, I used to mess with my cousins. You know, you play with your cousins, you play like different games. Like you may play house, you may play cops and robbers, you may play anything. You're making up stories, all of that. Play with action figures, Barbie dolls if you're a young lady, right? So what happened was the older I got, the more I kept hearing, you can't make money being an actor or doing anything in entertainment. You got to be like a singer, a rapper, a dancer, or something, right? And I'm like, okay, that sounds cool, but this one thing is really appealing to me. So I said, you know what? What I'm gonna do. I'm gonna be a doctor. So I said, I'm gonna go ahead and be a doctor. So I went down that road very strongly. I said to myself, I'm gonna get my STNA license while I'm in high school. I'm
Mm-hmm.
gonna do all these different little things as far as health tech and things like that. I learned a lot. Almost even taught a class. That's how deep I got into like really trying to be a doctor, right?
Right.
Then my senior year hit, for wrestling season, everything. I was like, you know what? Let me try this acting thing that I love, just to see if I got talent and just to see like what is this about. what does this entail? And so I said, I'm gonna go ahead and go for it. Went ahead and auditioned for both of my high school plays in the 12th grade, right? And so part of me was like, I got into both of them, didn't know what I was doing. Make a long story short, got into both of them. It was Alice in Wonderland and Godspell. So a musical and a stage like kind of play.
Mm.
Uh, then I graduate and I'm like, you know what? That was fun. And I was a wrestler and I still have my STNA license. So I can go be like an STNA nurse. I'm already basically have job credentials. I said, you know what? Let me go ahead, instead of trying to figure out what do I want to do next, let me try this acting thing one more time because I really, really liked it. Let me try it outside of high school because that might have been politics. I'm a senior. I decided to audition in my senior year. So like everybody knows me at this point. We're the higher upper echelon of people, right? Of like the high schoolers. So like I was like, this is probably politicky. I'll accept that I made it in there, but I don't know yet. So I went ahead and auditioned for Cincinnati Black Theater Company. Didn't get my first audition, but the second one I got it, and ever since then, been killing it. And I think the first one was more like, that was high school. Don't worry about it. You still got talent, but here's what it really entails. And when I walked in that room, it was way different than I did audition for high school. So
Mm-hmm.
that's how basically I got started. And ever since then, I've been going strong.
Yeah. So, like people that are interested in going into acting, like what does it take to be an actor? Because, as I was telling you on the phone the other day, like you can't just jump in cold. You have to go through
Yeah.
like acting classes or at least do some community theater at first before
Yeah.
you get into like all the
Yeah.
hard stuff.
Yeah, most definitely. So basically, to separate acting from just like not no offense to community theater, I still do community theater, but I have the privilege uh, to do professional theater a lot too. That's mostly what I do now. But
Mm-hmm.
community theater is very fun. You'll learn a lot. The thing is, uh, to really be an actor and to do it at the top level, the professional level, not just community or high school, whatever, you really need to study, study, study. Study your craft, study the actors that you like, study the people that you admire, see what they're doing, see how they got into it, see what they kind of did maybe. Look at how they act compared to someone else or things like that, right? Basically just do all the studying that you can because this whole industry is about observation,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Right.
Everything's about observation. So what other way to learn or to really even get into it is than to observe, right?
Mm-hmm.
So for me, I know the separation came from community theater was a lot of fun, but it's also very much so, as you know, you can get a lot of kids involved, and kids like to talk and do all this other stuff. They may not know lines, they don't understand when to be quiet, when not to, right? Same thing as high school. This is when you start kind of separating. Even the audition processes can be sometimes different, but sometimes they do good things to where they may treat it very professional and you kind of see what that feels like to see if you want to, you know what I'm saying, do
Mm-hmm.
your thing. But so what happens is if you're not studying, basically, to basically answer this question, if you're not studying, you're not thriving.
Right.
I talk to some of my best friends like um, Candace Handy, Burgess. I forget her last name. Burgess is great. These are all actors in Cincinnati. Samantha Russell, flipping, and these are all ladies by the way, but they're killing it. They're
Yeah.
killing it. You can talk about Jeffrey Barnes, who has the same name as me, but like that's whatever. No, I'm just kidding. He's a good guy. So these are all actors in Cincinnati, right?
Mm-hmm.
Kenny Hamilton. Everybody's very, very good at what they do. Like me and Mike just did a thing with Cincinnati Black Collective
Mm-hmm.
Artists, or Artist Collective, sorry, Black Artist Collective. And
Mm-hmm.
that's kind of new in Cincinnati, a little outside of Cincinnati Black Theater Company. But we did a monologues for us by us. And he's a professional actor too. He was on The Wire, he was in Jitney, all this other stuff. So he and yeah, like I said, he's done television as well. So but he and I did a two monologues from black playwrights and things like that. And we you can tell, you can really see, for me at least, the difference in what he did and to what I'm not trying to name any names, to what I'm just gonna say other people do, right?
Mm-hmm.
I just want to be cautious of because I'm speaking on names, and not everybody knows names. Anyway, you can see what he did compared to some other people, and it's like there's a difference there. He's had the experience. He's put in the time and the work.
Mm-hmm.
Like with any other job, you want to put in time, you want to put in work, you want to put in everything you got. If you don't love it, why do it?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, basically just professional from a what it really takes is just to observe.
Yeah.
It's a weird question. Like that's
Mm-hmm.
all I can really tell you. Like you just kind of have to have it in you to want to do this.
Mm-hmm.
It's tougher than what you think. The directors will yell at you, cast members will yell at you.
Yeah.
It depends on if you're on set, like on a film set or a stage. If you're
Mm-hmm.
on stage, the director will yell at you in 2 seconds. You be in the middle of a scene, directors are yelling at you. I was telling one of my friends this the other day. I said they were like, "Yeah, dude, like I couldn't do stage." I was like, "You sure?" He's like, "Yeah, I don't think I would like it, man." I was like, "Okay." He's like, "But I want to be an actor though. Like that'll be cool." I'm like, "Well, you can't really do stage without doing. I mean, you can't do film without doing stage, right? Or anything like film, television without doing stage. Like it's dang near impossible to me. I'm like, for you to be good,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, but like it just looks easier. I'm like, well, that's kind of the point, my guy. Like, you need to really step into the room, see what these people are doing, see how it feels to be one character for
Mm-hmm.
2+ hours, and
Mm-hmm.
just be that one character, and like nobody else, and know all your lines and all this other stuff. Like that's a lot. People
Right.
think sometimes we make it look easy, right? We make it look easy because we put in the time, we put in the effort, we've learned who our character was, we've read all our lines, we went over this in rehearsal. Cool. But you don't know the time that I cried because the director yelled at me. You don't know the time I probably failed during a dance number and hurt my ankle. You know what I'm saying? If it's a musical, you don't know about the time me and the cast we had this little powwow. Somebody like, you know what I'm saying, flipping someone in their family passed away and we're all hitting like, we got you, bro, this and that, or we got you, girl, this and that. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like these bonding moments in these moments. Just like to me, because it is acting and it is art.
Mm-hmm.
Art is an imitation of life. So really, you're not getting anything much different, but you just have to have thick skin.
Mm-hmm. Right. Definitely.
Definitely, you know that too. You know that too.
Yeah. And I mean, I've done a little bit of acting. I'm not as, good as you in your little community, but
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I started off at like an agency, so I went through wing model management and did some acting classes. But and then I was also at Cincinnati Black Theater Company, and honestly, I did Miss Hannigan and Annie. You know that you was
That's
in that
fine.
too.
Yeah, we was in that together.
Was that last year? Whatever.
We
That was like my first big role as like being out there all the time, and the attention is
uh-huh.
all on me and a couple other main characters. So that was new. That was weird, but it was cool. But so my other question was like, I know a lot of people want to go to like these agencies and take like acting classes. So I know you're at the Cincinnati Actor Studio. I don't know if you have to like pay for those classes or if it's just like free and just come and just, vibe with all the other actors. But I know there's some places where you have to pay like tons and tons of money to just get some acting classes. I'm not a huge fan of that. And when I went to Wing, they didn't do that. That was just a part of you being in the agency, just doing acting classes. So what do you feel about that? Do you feel like, obviously everyone doesn't think that they should have to put down hundreds of dollars just to take acting classes, but tell us about the Cincinnati Actor Studio. Like, what do you guys do there? And like, tell me about that.
Honestly, the I'm just gonna plug Cincinnati Actor Studio real
Yeah.
quick because they're great. First of all,
Mm-hmm.
second of all, it isn't like it's not free. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but like if you bring somebody, like let's say you show up to a class and you come back again, but you bring somebody with you, he
Mm-hmm.
will let you have that class free because you brought somebody else with you.
Yeah.
But they still got to pay, obviously. Anyway, Cincinnati Actor Studio is a class and a place for everyone to come, no matter if you want to act for the rest of your life, you just want to try it out, you just want to see what it's like. I suggest going to this class,
Mm-hmm.
not because it's easy.
Right.
By no means is this class easy at all. Like it's not an easy class. There's nobody in here who's going light. even if it's their first class, like I've been in classes, I've been there a lot. So whenever I show up, Steve is like, "Hey, what's up, Jeff?" And he's like telling everybody, "This is Jeff. He's been here for a while." People who know me that's been there, they're like, "Oh, what's up, Jeff?" Stuff like that. But every time when I step into a class and there's like someone new, that person has to get up and explain things about themselves. But we never let them like sit there. They can't just sit there and be like, I'm just gonna watch, or I'm really nervous and I don't want to get up. No, you came to this class to act, didn't you? Like you're gonna have to do that. Like back in the day, a long time ago when I was going there earlier, my earlier years basically, we used to do like pop-ups. So like you can get up whenever you want for a certain scene or whatever we was doing, or if we was doing like improv, or if we were doing a scene breakdown, you can read that scene multiple times. However you wanted to do it, but you basically got to get up and do as much as you wanted. Learn your craft. I loved it then. I know I'm kind of going off topic here. I loved it then because you could focus on what you wanted to do, right? Not necessarily completely what you wanted to do. You still learned a lot, but like if I want to get up 5 times just to do the scene 5 times and figure out how can I do it 5 times different, I could. Now we can't do that as much because we try to make sure everybody gets up. But I love that because that's what art is about. If you really want to do this, you love it, you know how to just create. You just have to be into it, right? If you're not into it, you can't really think for yourself. To me, this industry isn't for you. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's kind of ridiculous. But get back to Cincinnati Actor Studio. I suggest that class over any other class. It's the cheapest class. I never suggest paying $100 and something, $200 something dollars for some agency to like, hey, we're gonna bring in these group of people and they're gonna like teach you how to act. How can you teach somebody how to act? You know what I mean? How can you do that? Who does that? First of all, you can give them techniques for certain things that you do. You can't teach anyone how to act. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
That's my opinion. Now, with Cincinnati Actor Studio, you literally only paying, like I said, I'm gonna plug them. You're only paying $25 for that class. There's 2 classes a week, but you can go to 1 class a week, or you can pay in advance for a couple classes if you would like. But you can. It's kind of like Planet Fitness. It's $10, right? Same thing here, 25, but you're getting the same benefits, the same kind of. You're getting to get up and be creative. You're getting to get up and learn how to break down the scene. How can I make this emotion? Like we'll do emotion night and do one emotion all night. One emotion. And I got to portray the same emotion kind of different every time. Kind of. Because if the emotion is grit, right? If the emotion is grit and I'm doing grit this way, maybe kind of angry, like that grit, hey, I'm trying to get it. And the next time I'm doing grit, but it's more like I'm focused. I'm just, hey, can I get this? Can I get that done? All right, how do I do that? You know what I'm saying? You're still open. Whereas the other grid, I was like, nah, I got this. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do this. And this grid is like, I'm a little more open, but I'm still focused. You see what I'm saying? Same emotion, same exact emotion, just different ways to approach that emotion.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So this class really breaks down techniques and how to do certain things. And that class to me is one of the best classes in Cincinnati. A lot of the things I work with has Cincinnati in it, right? Great for the hometown. But yeah, like honestly, it's one of the best classes. I never suggest paying a lot of money for like $200 for like 3 weeks. They're like $200 for 3 weeks, and we get this intense story, and everybody gets up, and everyone's like, you get a mellow at the end, and everyone's just so nice.
Yeah.
No
offense to agencies, but you just gotta watch some of them.
Yeah,
they
you
will
do.
doubt you. Try to at least.
Yeah, they'll have you in here. They have you out here looking crazy.
Yes,
they have you out here.
Courses in Cincinnati you can be a part of.
Yeah.
You have to be cautious of what you get into.
You got to.
But yeah, so for people who want to like join the Cincinnati Actor Studio, I think they have a website and they have social media. Yes, and I'm pretty sure I know Steve has a Facebook. So
website and Facebook. Yes, and the instructor's name is Steve Francia, great guy.
He does seem like a great guy. So definitely for anyone that's listening, definitely sign up if you're interested in acting.
Yeah,
and
most
the
definitely.
Cincinnati Black Theater Company as well.
Most definitely.
They have a website and
sure
some social media pages where you can connect with them. Don Sherman,
Mm.
great guy. Next, so like you were telling me on the phone that you started off at Cincinnati State and then you went to NKU.
Yeah.
In SOTA, so the School of Arts. So tell us about that. What made you want to go to NKU over like CCN or like any other acting?
Talk about NKU. No, NKU is a very great school. The reason I love it so much, is because I went to Cincinnati State first, right?
Mm-hmm.
Did that for about a year and a half. And I was like, nah, this ain't college. This is high school again. Like, they don't even got a theater program here. What am I doing? Right? So I'm searching around the school. Me and this other kid was kind of in the same boat. I remember he ended up going to his what's that called? Not therapist. I guess some sort of therapy, right? That we had at the school or something.
Yeah.
And like I went in after him, but mine was more just to like, hey, I think the person was a counselor and a therapist.
Mm-hmm.
So like you can kind of do both. So like I was really going in just for the counseling, like, hey, could I like transfer or do this? Is there any other school? Just kind of get that. But I remember sitting in the room or in the door waiting on the other kid to get out, and I knew who it was, and I was like, he's in my acting class. And he was in there, he was talking to her or him or whoever. He's in there talking to him. And like I remember hearing him say, like, dude, I'm just so distraught. Like, I don't know what to do with my life. I just want to act all the time, and I don't know, dude. Like, I'm just blase. And the guy in the therapist is like, calm down, it's gonna be okay. Blase, you can do this and do that. And I remember him like leaving, but obviously I can hear everything because I wasn't in the room. But when he walked away, he's just like, oh. All right. I'm like, dude, calm down. So, make a long story short, talk to her, kind of get my next steps. My acting professor, which had an improv class, Gary McGirt, who was in Seabiscuit, by the way. He was like, he's an old man. He's like, do you think you maybe want to go to, he has like, he smokes a lot of cigarettes, right? He was like, he's cool as I don't know what though, but he was like, you think, you maybe want to go to NKU? Like, it's a good school. I think you'll thrive there. And he's like tiny like me, right? So I'm just kind of looking at him, this old man talking to him. He's like, yeah, I think you'll really like it there. There's a lot of good people and this and that. I'm like, yes, sir. Okay. All right. I'm going to check into it. He's like, yeah, no, you should do that quick. Like, I think that's a good move for you. And he's just telling me about how, the industry was during his time, which is a lot different now. But it made sense. And it was kind of cool to hear some of the stories. And if we had more time, I could tell you about some of the stories he told me, right? Mm-hmm. Because literally, this man was in Seabiscuit and he was in Home Improvement, a couple other these industry things. And so I'm like, I was really willing to listen. Plus, he's older. We respect our elders. So that's what we do out here, respect our elders. But when he told me about that, I said, let me check into the school for real. So I actually looked into it. I was like, oh, that's cool. Didn't really do anything. Started working with Jorge. Not Jorge. What's that man's name? Maybe his name is Jorge. I forget. Anyway, I was at the YMCA for Black and Latino Teen Achievers program, right? And I was doing Toastmasters there. Ended up meeting a guy, Andre Ward, great guy, great brother. You feel me? All the way through and through. He tells me, he's like, hey, you should come to NKU. We have a nice theater program. He told me how he used to do broadcasting on the news and this and that and the third. He's like, dude, they just have a very good program. We just revamped it, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go ahead and do that. So I go ahead, go over there, having some fun. You feel me? Like, when we finish up, I get to NKU. I do a tour with Daryl Harris, right? Daryl Harris, he's just showing me around. Great guy, black guy, tall guy, has like a lot of rings and stuff. You'll hear him and smell him before you see him, and that's what I seen that day. And then ever since then, my whole NKU career, he was doing that. Anyway, we go to NKU. He shows me around. Get over there, like it. I said, I'm not going to go to UC because UC has very preppy kids. When I worked at Kings Island, it's okay. UC is cool, right? But when I worked at Kings Island, those kids were very like, you know what I'm saying? They came very like, we do musical theater. What do you do? You don't do that? Okay, I'll talk to you later. I was like, yo, like, why's it got to be like that, right? So I was like, nah, it's probably not the school for me. I like you guys. You guys are great. I can tell y'all do good work, but I like this school over here. So I go to NKU, start doing acting. We first show there, Ma Rainey's Black Bottom. It's an August Wilson show, black show by black playwright from the 21st, considered the 21st century modern day Shakespeare, basically, right? He has Chadwick Boseman's in the movie Ma Rainey that's coming out on Netflix pretty soon. I had the pleasure of doing that show at NKU, and it was lit in 2017, right? We had a great time. I think it was 2016, 2016, 2017, one or two. 2016. Killing it, having a good time, right? Having a lot of fun. Then I right after that, yeah, I'm trying to remember. I'm trying to remember all of these different little things that had happened. Right after that, as soon as I finished that, talking to my professors, trying to see what can I do next as far as like film and stuff like that. Met some great people there. Um, one of my professors was really digging into me like, hey, you should look into this film, not school, but film agency, and she had a different agency and things like that. They're showing me around, right? So all these people, I basically went to NKU because the people there were more collective. They were a family. They felt good. You feel me? Like everybody around you really felt alive. They didn't feel like we go here because we have money, or we do this, or we do this, or we do that. It was more like, hey, bro, I just barely, I just barely got here. Like, and I'm like, okay, that's what's up, man, because that shows me you have something you're working for, something you.
Sorry.
And so as I'm at NKU, everybody's like, oh, blase, blase. And after I do my rating, I become like an instant celebrity. Like people were coming around and like, hey, you were that guy that was in my rating. I was like, yeah. They're like, dude, that was so cool. Blase, like shaking my hand. So I'm like, okay, it's cool. So basically, these little stories I'm telling you is the reason I went there, because people were so much more down to earth. Whereas I know if I'd have went to UC, it wouldn't have been that way. I would have been stuck with a theater crowd, which isn't bad, but not my favorite crowd. Because like I said, I was the sports person before this, so I need some sort of different people that don't just do theater all the time, right? Because no offense to us, but sometimes we can get kind of annoying. We're always singing or dancing or just being stupid, right? And I'm like, I don't even like that all the time. So UC just wasn't the place for me. And then on top of that, because I met Andre Ward, I knew that my fraternity, Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated, had a chapter there. I said, hey, you know what? This will all work out for the greater good. And it did. So I did some great shows at NKU, met some great people, still do shows with some of these people from NKU. And we're like, you know what I'm saying? We're young adults making great shows. I did a show with a guy named Isaiah Reeves, who's a great playwright, phenomenal playwright. He played Sylvester in Ma Rainey. So to see him as a freshman stutter and act all like shy, and then to have these phenomenal plays that he writes and is like killer. And I'm talking like backstory. We're talking history, like Bert Williams, who was a blackface person. He did blackface. He did a whole show. Isaiah Reeves did a show called Blackface Project, and it's about Bert Williams, who's a real man who did Broadway blackface, and he was black, but he didn't want to tell his mom and nothing like that because he felt like it was demeaning. But he knew he was making money, and he knew he was still doing what he loved, right? Even though it was blackface, he felt like these people were going to give him a chance to play the bigger roles eventually, but they really weren't. You feel me? And my character in this particular show was trying to tell him like, you're going down a dead end, basically, right? And but to know that this young man wrote this, that sounds something like an older person would write, like August or somebody would write. You know what I'm saying? Somebody that understands that time period, that understands that struggle, and to bring that to life, he did it, and he's so young, younger than me, right? I went to school with younger people. Yeah, 2020, but like 20 when they were younger, and you know what I'm saying, we were younger, 2016, whatever. They were younger. I'm a little older. I'm 27, but they just, these are young people making stuff, good stuff. Young, black, white, all of us. We all together. We're a collective artistry. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I loved about NKU. We wasn't just the black kids and stick with the black kids, or theater kids stick with the theater kids, or sports kids stick. It was like everybody was together, and I know it's kind of off topic, kind of far fetched, but it reminds me of my elementary because my elementary was the same way. Like everyone in the community was we jailed, and that's how it was at NKU, and I like that. I really do.
Thanks for sharing that. So with everything going on right now with like the pandemic, no one's really knowing when
Coronavirus
it's going to clear up. So what are actors doing right now? Because like the Cincinnati Arts, in Cincinnati is put on hold. A lot of the shows are rescheduled. Like the Aronoff, Taft, movie theaters are closed. I think they're starting to open back up, but I mean it's not the same. So like, what are actors doing? A lot of productions were put on hold or rescheduled. So like, how are you guys pivoting during this time?
Basically, thank you for that question. I'm gonna rebuttal with this. No, I'm just kidding. On a serious note, honestly, we're not doing it. What we're doing is being stupid and goofy and annoying our family members, but also we're getting virtual things done. So basically, everything we're doing is all virtual. You know what I mean? Like, it sounds stupid. It almost sounds crazy. I'm not gonna say it sounds crazy, but it is one of those things to where it's like we knew even if the world was gonna shut down, we weren't gonna stop.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, yes, physically, we can't like be in studios or do this and do that, or at least we couldn't. Now we can a little bit more, right? But before we couldn't, when the world really shut down, I knew I was like, yeah, stage plays and things will probably be shut down. Movies probably won't, just because like entertainment is so essential, and this time period really showed it. Honestly, it's essential. We took it for granted, but I feel like this time period brought it back. Because I kid you not, there were some people I talked to the other day who don't even do theater, and they're like, I can't wait to go like see a show or a movie or something, right? But notice the first thing they said was a show, not a movie. They said a show or a movie. And for me, even though it was minor and it was kind of like in passing and I didn't even notice people, it stuck out to me. I was like, because people say what they mean for the most part. So if you said a show first, that means for one, you like to go to shows. And two, you miss it. You know what I mean?
For sure.
So like that just really shows you, because I feel like for a minute there we were starting to like, oh yeah, we're just gonna go see movies, and theater was trying to die out, low key. I think this will be a resurgence for it. I know I'm not answering your question, but I'm just saying like I feel like this time period has really shown us as actors and people in general, anybody that even that doesn't act, that like entertainment is essential. Like look at us now. You're still getting your job done, entertainment wise, through Zoom. We're still doing it.
Some technical difficulties, but we worked through it.
Technical difficulties to where I almost laughed. No, I'm just kidding. I ain't that big at it. But so basically what we're doing is everything virtual. So if we got a skit we want to make, we making it. Why not? We ain't got nothing but time on our hands. A lot of people ain't got their jobs. If they did have a job, it was probably at a theater. Like the people that work at children's theater, I know some of those are full timers. What are they doing? They have to wait till next year. We had Descendants planned for this year, and I was very excited about that. I really wanted to audition and be in that. You feel me? But now, like that probably won't happen next year. I haven't heard a single word about it, and obviously, kids aren't necessarily in school, so who knows what's going to happen with the Taft Theater because kids aren't necessarily in school. So how are they going to be like, hey, everyone get on the yellow bus and come see us at Children's Theater? Like, no, like it's not going to happen. You feel me? So you get there. I think we won't even be the same industry wise and just as people until next year.
Yeah.
Because it's October now, basically, right? You got December, 2021, let's just start it over. Start the minute it hits 2021, the day of New Year's, we need to.
I don't even know because I was listening on the news today and it won't clear up until like the end of next year. And I said, what? Like, we're done. We're sick of it. We're trying to go back to our regular life.
We really are. And to me, that goes to show you us as a people. Now I feel like we're getting off topic, but I really do hope. I'm gonna say this one thing, and I'm gonna come back. I really do hope that this time period, 2020, shows us as a people that we need to just come together, man, and just stop killing each other, stop doing crazy things. Because like, with us being isolated from each other, we missed each other. With us being isolated, we missed our jobs, we missed our friends, we missed doing shows and doing things like that, right? We all missed it. And any other time, any other day, you be at work, you like, oh, I don't feel like being here. Talking to your friends, like, yeah, I don't feel like being here either. But I'm tired, isn't it? But when we had the hiatus, everybody was like, I can't wait to go back to work. What? Right? But
Right.
then, even now, because we're slowly opening back up and people are getting frustrated at that, like even, I swear to you, I know we're on off topic. Skating. I go skating every Wednesday. Skating place on Coleraine, right? 9:30, 12:30. I show up last week and they went back to you got to buy tickets in advance before you show up, where they stopped doing that for a while because the governor like opened everything up, kind of, right? And but to know if they reverted back for whatever reason, I didn't hear about it, didn't hear no word about it, didn't see it nowhere. Like they reverted back to doing that. It's like, what? Like that's frustrating.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want that. You know what I'm saying? I
Yeah.
had plans to do this today, and now I can't. I could have did something else, but I didn't know. So it's like everybody wants to get back together, but I think there's power in numbers. So if we all just, I'm not suggesting we do this. Like I said, I know we get off topic. I'm not suggesting we do this, but if everybody just stopped wearing masks and just live their life normal, like they wanted to, have for whatever reason,
Mm-hmm.
we can make that happen. Like the government can tell us not that, but we just all have to do it collectively.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I know that's difficult and that's thinking kind of huge because, like, I can't tell some guy in Asia, don't wear your mask, my guy. He's like, I want to wear my mask. And I'm like, bro, don't wear your mask. And he's going to put it on anyway. You feel me? Like, it don't matter. So it's like, what can you, what can you really do? But I really hope this time period shows us we got to come together. We got to really break out. But let me get back on topic here. Everything we're doing is what we're doing right now.
Yeah. I
We
understand.
may go visit each other. We may go visit each other at home. But
Mm-hmm.
everything we're doing is what we're doing right now. It's all virtual. YouTube, Facebook. I got a podcast with one of my family members, and we made a podcast for MMA. Like we started that during this quarantine, during this time, to whereas I feel like if everything was normal, we probably wouldn't have got it on its feet so quickly.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Things would have been a lot busier. I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but I'm just saying that like because we have this time on our hands, actors are literally just pushing out stuff.
Yeah.
Here we go. I like this thing. I think this might be funny because our brains are always moving. Remember when we were sitting here for technical difficulties. You can attest that I was sitting here being crazy because we get so bored so fast just sitting here. So anyway, that's hopefully that answered the question. Sorry for the roundabout answer.
Problem. But like at least last year you got to do a couple shows because you were in,
Yeah,
Charlie Brown, the Children's Theater. I was there.
yeah,
He did awesome, everyone.
thank you.
And then you were able to do your last show, which was Joseph, which is also
Mhm.
awesome.
Joseph.
So he's been doing it. So and like you said,
Benjamin, you nasty thief. That was me.
but like you said, we have to we have to pivot and just figure out how to keep going with life until
Yeah, we really
things
do.
clear up. You might run into some technical difficulties, but hey,
Mhm.
that's a part of technology.
Yeah.
But yeah. So I also want to ask you, like, since you're an actor, there's a lot of different actors out there, and you probably have a whole list of actors. But what one actor that's already like progressed in their professional field doing their thing, what one actor has inspired you to keep going?
This is gonna be kind of I'm not gonna say long answer, but a two-folded answer because obviously everybody knows Denzel's the GOAT. So Denzel first, right? You can't deny it. You really can't. Um, and that's all I'm gonna say about that. I'm gonna leave it at that. He's the GOAT. Now, someone but besides Denzel, who's really inspired me to really keep going and saying, "Oh, I can do this, dude. Like I got this, man." Like, and it's weird because I always pick people that. Well, I think it's a good thing. I think it's actually better that I do it this way. I pick people that aren't my character type, which I don't believe in character types anyway. But Michael B. Jordan, basically, long story short, because Michael B. Jordan, he to me he's good. I know some people don't like him. I know the ladies like him because I guess he's handsome or whatever, right? That's on the ladies. That's on y'all. But I can say that I know some people are like, he's not that good. But I'm like, no, bro. Like he's progressed, man. Like truly progressed from The Wire, you know what I'm saying, to and you know what I'm saying, Mike probably worked with that man. Mike and Mike, two mics anyway. Uh to go from The Wire, then Hardball, he did Hardball. Hardball was one of my favorite movies as a kid. So it's like honestly, we've always seen each other, I guess, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But I know seeing him do Fruitvale Station changed it all for me. When he did Fruitvale Station, he killed it. And that to me was like, okay, dude, okay. Because he broke out on his own from that point on. That was Michael B. Jordan's starting point. You know what I mean? Like,
Mm-hmm.
yes, he was on The Wire. Yes, he was, excuse me, I had something down there. Yes, he was doing like good things and a couple other movies. But when he did Fruitvale Station, he
Mm-hmm.
was older, came out to the world, he was grown. Well, I'm gonna say older, he was grown, but he wasn't as big as he is now. He was obviously, he was pretty skinny. But still, like, I can't explain it, but he just inspired me when I seen that. I was like, this is killer.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I really enjoy movies like that are kind of singular and have this really smooth plot. It's not like, oh, this, and 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 then that happened. That's cool. But it happened. I think I watched so many movies that I got tired of that. It's like my brain was like this. That when he made that, and it was just like, I'm Oscar Grant. This is
Mm-hmm.
my life. This is how I died. You feel me?
Right.
Like that to me was lit. And then to know that he portrayed that, portrayed a real character, a real person, even at that, and then just kind of like lived it without doing method. I'm
Mm-hmm.
sure he didn't do method. I mean, he could have, but it didn't seem like it. You
Right.
know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. So I
So he
know.
just inspired me.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So I remember a little while ago you told me you were in a couple of short films. So I'm
Mhm.
gonna have you been on the big screen yet? But you've done a few short films. So what was that one short film you did? Remember
Are
that?
we talking
I don't remember. It was like a you sent me the trailer.
All or Nothing?
I think it's Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
All or
yeah.
Nothing is a short film, a little longer than a short film. I call it a short film because it's like an hour. I think it's like an hour, so I call it a short film, right? But that's still a film. Like it, that's pretty long. It's like an hour. I think hour 15.
Right. So is
But
that like your biggest project?
as far as film goes, yes, because we traveled for 2 weeks during that,
Mm-hmm.
and it's about slaves, 28 slaves who ran away, and it gets deeper from there. That's really because each character or each slave, not each one of them, but a couple of them have stories that make that the story itself. You know what I mean? They have these side stories that you're kind of following as it's going on, and then it all just ties up. And that's to me, that's really cool. I played one of the characters that had a poignant role with a young lady because I was like her husband or something like that, and I went to go find her. But I ended up telling on the people where they were at because the guy captured me and a bunch of other stuff. I get killed, so it was like, bro, like it was fun, and I love that experience of traveling for 2 weeks. Probably the best experience I've had, simply because I got to travel. It felt like I was a big movie star type deal. Like I didn't have to do like because we just traveled freely. We sat there until we got to do our take, but we didn't sit there like not trying to like discourage people from doing extra work, but some extras will like sit around for hours and not do a thing. You feel me? They'll
Mm-hmm.
just sit in costume and not do nothing, never get called for nothing, none of that. And they're like, "We'll see you all tomorrow at 7." And you're like, "Bro, but we didn't do nothing today." So it's like, what? You know what I mean? Like that's crappy. That's really crappy. But in this experience, I didn't have to do that because I had a character role. I had speaking lines, all this other stuff. Yeah, we didn't shoot my stuff till towards the end, but I got to stay on board the whole time and watch people do their thing and talk to people and get to know people and sleep in these little houses that they rented and things like that and get free food. You know what I'm saying? Pretty much all day, every day. Like it was lit. Like,
Yes, I remember those days. I was in that one movie. What was it? Bring it back to me. Um, the Chalet movie. I think it was Surviving Compton.
Something,
I think he was. But like sitting there all day just watching like how movies are, like with the sets and all the things, how the cameras roll, and just being in that atmosphere, it was awesome. And that was like my biggest little I had my little TV debut. So if you ain't seen it, y'all go look at it, you'll see.
I just killed it.
But I had no controls, but I was an extra. But it was nice being able to be in the presence of some celebrities. Okay. But yeah, so I don't know where people can check out that short film, but I think you had a link where people.
Oh yeah. We have a website. It's called allornothing.com. I will look it up. If you go to my Facebook or Instagram, you'll see a picture of All or Nothing. Click on that link. I think it'll take you to the website. We did have a couple showings here in Cincinnati at downtown at the what is it called? Underground Railroad. We have one in Indiana at some casino, next to a casino somewhere. Don't know where that's at. I forgot. But we did have a couple showings on the screen for that movie. But now it's just on like DVD and out in different little venues. Actually, I'm not sure if you purchased the DVDs. Don't quote me on that. But I did that. Check out the website. It was great. I did another short film. The other short films are really more like, yeah, they're short films, but they're like the definition of short films. So like they're really short, clear cut. Like I just did a not blackface. Sorry, excuse me. I just did a Black Lives Matter short, right? And that picture is on my Instagram, but the video hasn't come out yet. He hasn't sent it to me or nothing. But I know for a fact that's going to be heat. It was good. Obviously, with our time period, it's very relevant. Something to look out for, something to watch. Mm-hmm. And everything else has basically been like just little skits, maybe on YouTube with friends or the podcast, things like that. But go ahead.
Mm-hmm. And on your page, you have the little short. I guess it was a monologue you did with Black Theater Arts Collaborative. Yes. That's on your page, and that's just something that recently just started. So
with me and Mike, remember us, Mike who was on the wire. But go ahead. What did you say? You said we just started that?
Yes, the collective.
Yes, yes, it's very new. And actually, it was a quick funny story. I'm not going to go super far with it. The creator of the group talked to the creator of Cincinnati Black Theater Company, right? And they were saying, she was telling me that like it was one of those meetings that was like, what are you doing in my space type deal. And we're like, but y'all can live together. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not make it a big thing. But it was just kind of funny hearing that vibe. Things worked out, but I'm just saying, it was a funny story. That's what I said. I'm not gonna go into the story. I can't go into the story, but it was just funny to know that like when they met, it was like, what are you doing in my space? You know what I mean? It's all good. Let's just be together. Let's be together. Come on now. For us, by us.
Right. So yeah, Geoffrey's talked about like the Cincinnati Black Theater Company, Cincinnati Actor Studio, the Artist Collective, Children's Theater. They all have social medias and websites. So if you're interested in getting involved with those, go to their links in their social media and sign up. I know they probably won't be doing much right now, but you can still always sign up for next season, hopefully, or anything virtual that they're doing right now. But before we go, Geoffrey, I do want you to tell me, what is your ultimate goal for your acting career? Like, where do you see your long-term goal? Where do you see yourself going at the end? Do you plan on still being in theater, or do you want to be on the big screen, be at Tyler Perry Studios? What you want to do?
Everything you just said I want to do? No, I'm just kidding. But no, on a serious note, I do want to be in film. I do. Film is the ultimate goal. Got to work with Denzel and Michael B. and all the other people, right? Cheadle and everybody that's out there. Got to work with these people. So my ultimate goal is just to be in film and to really be good at it, though. Thrive at it. Not just like, here's a film. That's good. No, I mean like legit, like all respect to Chadwick Boseman, but this man came into the game doing biopics. You come into the game doing biopics, just like there's no going down. Like, where do you go? You go up from there. And he did, because he did Jackie Robinson, then he did James Brown, did Thurgood Marshall, all biopics, right? Then he played Black Panther. He's doing Ma Rainey, which, I mean, yeah, he passed away, which is very sad, but like those alone are poignant. Jackie Robinson's poignant. James Brown is poignant. Thurgood Marshall, poignant.
Mm-hmm.
Flipping Black Panther, poignant.
Mm-hmm.
Black superhero, Ma Rainey, poignant. August Wilson, everything you've done has meant something. The same as Denzel. Everything they've done has basically meant something. You know what I mean? For the most part. For the most part. Denzel's been in the game a lot longer, and I keep saying this, but rest in peace to Chadwick. It's like Denzel's been in the game long, so he's had a couple movies to where it may not have been poignant, but Denzel was in it and he killed it, and it was still good. Like it was serious. Like he had an illustrious career because he lived. Not Michael B. Sorry, Chadwick wasn't able to continue his career, obviously, right? But imagine what he could have did. If he started out with those 5 films that poignant, that strong, ain't that man was about to be he's a GOAT already. But he was. I'm not even gonna speak on that. So that's my apologies. My main goal is to be in film. Be in film. Okay. Then I do want to be on stage though. I have to be on stage. I have to be stage somewhere, Broadway, whatever. Because you can't do it on stage, you can't do it in film. And I'm really trying to push that on people. Like you can't do it on stage, you can't do it in film. It's not gonna happen. Like when I did Ma Rainey for myself, that really showed me you have to stay this character the whole time. Not that I didn't have another role where I had to stay a character like that, but that was one of my favorites, and it was one of the ones that had a lot of energy to it. You know what I mean? Because when I played Billy Bibbit, hate to go back, but when I played Billy Bibbit with Deep Drama Workshop, and Cuckoo's Nest, One Flew over the Cuckoo's Nest, Billy Bibbit stutters. He's very shy, very into himself, right? Yes, I had to be that character for like 2.5 hours on this stage. This is a long show. And I was in like basically every scene for the most part. But he doesn't exuberate or even push out as much energy as Levy does. Levy's confident, a little arrogant, womanizer, can play his butt off on a trumpet, all this other stuff. Kind of mean, you know what I mean? And to have that snappy energy, like you say something to me, I'm gonna say something right back. Unlike Billy's, like you say something to me, I may kind of sit here and wait for 20 minutes before I say, hey, can I get some water? Like deal. You feel me? Like that's not how I play that character, by the way, but I played it a lot more like into it, and it showed. But now to bring it up to Ma Rainey, Levy has energy. You say something to me, he's liable to cut you or just go off. Like, what? Okay. No. We can take this outside. You feel me? Like he moves so fast that if you can't do that in front of people and make them believe it, how are you gonna do that on the screen?
Right.
Make me believe it. And I've been seeing, I hate saying this. I know we're at the end of this interview, so I hate saying this because you asked about me, but I've been seeing, maybe it had to be said, right? I've been seeing that a lot of people on TV haven't had stage work because the way they're just kind of like, oh, I'm just gonna do this. It's not working. Like I don't know who that character is. I don't understand that character. I don't feel that character. You're just doing something just to do it. And I've seen that. You can hear it and you can see it. You know what I mean?
Right.
Simple as that. But to wrap it all up, I want to be on stage, and I want to be in film, but I want to make sure I have a strong stage foundation, which I'm doing already, to make film so popular, I guess I should say. Let's use non-young people words and make that so, you know what I'm saying, make that the greater of the two. And that's just what I want to do. But I need to let people know that you can't do it unless you do stage.
Yes, sir. I wish you the best of luck, Geoffrey, and I know that you will get there soon because you're almost there.
You're already there, and you're gonna get there.
Listen, I'm trying. I
You're
am
doing
trying. But I do wish you well.
it.
And I know you'll get to your long-term goal. I have faith. It's coming soon. Because he's great. He's awesome. If you have not seen Geoffrey live before, you're missing out. You gotta go to one of his shows. You're missing out.
Keep watching her show. Thank you for the opportunity.
You're welcome. Do you have any last things you want to leave with us today about acting in general, or just last thoughts?
Last thoughts. You cannot be a film actor until you do stage work.
Right.
And if you really want to be in this industry and you really want to do this thing, you have to study, 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 and observe.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. And I love you all.
All right. Well, let me wrap this up for our audience here. So, I really enjoy the opportunity of being able to speak to you this morning, Jeff. So thank you again for being here with me. I really hope that everyone that will be listening to this enjoyed the interview and learned a lot about acting and all about your amazing things that you're doing. So everyone, please be sure to support and connect with Jeff on his social media. Can you go ahead and plug that for us while you're at it?
Yes. My name is Geoffrey Hill. You can find me on Facebook at Jeff Hill, GeoffHill. You want to find me on Instagram, it is ghill_103. You see a little picture of a little mannequin. That was a picture of me when I worked at Kings Island, or a little doll of me when I worked at Kings Island.
Yes, you worked at
Yeah,
Kings Island too. He's
which
not
is
old.
wild, right? We didn't get to speak on that. But it's a lot of things we didn't really speak on, honestly.
Yeah.
Then, them are the only two platforms I have that are big. I don't have Twitter, sorry. That's it.
Yes.
Like an Instagram.
No.
I will not get a Twitter until I am super, until I meet Denzel. Once I meet Denzel, I'll make a Twitter. So help me make a Twitter by helping me meet Denzel in person.
Well, if you want to keep up with his journey, his acting stuff, definitely follow him on Instagram and Facebook.
Very true.
Don't follow him on Snapchat. He's a little wild.
I will not follow you back.
Right. But lastly, don't forget to tune back in at 6. Hopefully John's able to fix his technical difficulties. Hopefully he doesn't have any, but I did. But it's okay because we're here and we're.
All right. We still made it work.
Yes, we made it work. But his guest will be. Let me get this right. It will be Lori Quinlivan. Lori Quinlivan, I think. But yes, tune in because she is the founding board member of Women in Film Cincinnati, and they will be discussing the Better City Film Festival. So another little film stuff later, more acting stuff. But I think that film festival will be at the end of this month, and I think it's virtual, I want to say. But tune all in and hear about that. So we'll be talking about that later. And also be sure to check out the Influencers Show on the Herald TV YouTube channel. The reruns will be on our YouTube. Like the Cincinnati Herald on Facebook if you haven't already. Follow us at Cincy Herald on Twitter and Instagram. And as always, you can visit us at thecincinnatiherald.com. Other than that, thank you to everyone that tuned in today, to the influencers at home. Sorry it was not live, but if you have any comments or further questions, Jeff will be in the thread, so you can ask him anything you feel the need to, or you can just comment and praise him for all the amazing things that he's doing. But yeah, don't forget to also register for the Cincinnati Herald's home ownership webinar next weekend. Thank you again, Geoffrey. Appreciate you.
You're welcome. No, thank you.
Sorry for the technical difficulties this morning, but you came and you stayed, so you're awesome.
Okay. I only had 5 minutes, sweetie. Maybe next time. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh gosh. But yeah, support the Cincinnati Herald and stay healthy, everyone. As always, wear a mask, social distance as best you can. Hang in here with this COVID stuff. But other than that, have a great rest of your weekend. Thank you.